What's up, folks? Hope y'all are having a good day. I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit before I lose all my sunlight. The previous clip that you saw me pulling in, I kind of tried something new in a parking lot that I thought wouldn't have a lot of people, but it still ended up being very awkward. So yeah, I'm doing this on top of a parking deck now. But yeah, hope y'all like the Indian in the background and everything. Trying something a little new. So what I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about was how much I actually paid for my new 2018 Indian Scout Bobber. Now, before I bought this bike, I looked at the MSRP on the price on everything, and essentially I kind of knew how much I wanted to pay, interest rate, and how much I wanted my payments to be. So going in, to keep long story short, I wanted this bike no more than $12,000 out the door. Now this bike MSRPs for, in this trim anyway, this trim, the trim I have is the Thunder Black. It retails at MSRP for $11,499. So I knew going in that I wanted to get it to close as MSRP as possible. So knowing that this bike just came out, it was brand new, people were putting down deposits on it, and the bikes were selling out, I knew that it was a good possibility that I wasn't going to be able to get the bike at MSRP. So even though that's the case, that was the case, I still calculated in my notes that, okay, at $11,499, I want an interest rate as close to zero as possible. So worst case scenario, I said, okay, 5%. The best case scenario was 0%. Or of course, anything in between 0 and 5 would be good. So of course I knew that, okay, $11,499, that's going to be kind of hard to push for a bike that's brand new. So I said, okay, $12,000 out the door at 5%. That was my goal. So essentially what I did, I called up my dealerships, my local dealerships, and I said, hey, I need a quote for a 2018 Indian Scout Bobber in Thunder Black. So they gave me the quote, and I think the first quote I got was around $13,600 out the door for just the bike. So for me, I was like, okay, that ain't really gonna work for me. I'm looking for more for $12,000 out the door, 5%. So they worked with me. Then I think the next offer I got was around 13. I said, no, 12. And I think they said 12,600. And I was like, no, 12. So eventually I got it down to 12,000 at 5% interest. So after I got that price, I was like, okay, well, you just gave me this price. Now I'm going to go call another dealership and see if they can beat that offer. So I called another dealership, and essentially they told me 12,000, 3.8%. And they were a little farther out. Now the reason why I even entertained this is the fact that the first dealership that gave me the offer, they didn't even have a bike on the floor. The other dealership that was offering at a lower interest rate, but it was farther away, actually had the bike on the floor. So it came down at first to how quick that I wanted the bike. So after I got that quote, the 3.8%, I went back to the first dealer and said, okay, they're offering me 3.8% and I can get the bike tomorrow. So they came back and said, okay, well, guess what? We're going to give you 2.25%. So I'm like, dang. But I still got to wait for the bike, and I had to put down a $500 deposit, which I would have gotten back after I got the bike. So I said, okay, well, let me go call the other dealership, which again is farther away, offers me 3.8%, and I can get the bike the next day. So they ended up saying, okay, well, we'll reimburse you for gas and everything, and we have the bike in stock. You can come get it. So at that point, they gave me the better offer, and I had to weigh the option of whether I'm going to go farther to get a bike that I could possibly get tomorrow versus waiting to get the bike a little bit later. Now, here's what complicated the situation even more. The dealership that offered me the lowest percentage, the lowest interest rate, is also the dealership that I do all of my test rides at. That's where, whenever you see me on a Ducati or Indian or a BMW, those demo rides, or a Ducati or something like that, most of those demo rides are coming from this dealership. So I had to weigh in that option of, okay, at this point, it's not just about the money, it's about the relationship that I'm going to have with this dealership at some point. So 12,000, 2.25% relationship. Don't get the bike for, I think it was like 5 days. $12,000, 3.8%. No relationship with this dealer. Got to drive farther to get the bike, even though I'm being reimbursed for gas. I think it was like an extra 2-hour drive. And I would have gotten the bike the next day. So ultimately what I ended up going with, I decided to do the $12,000, 2.25% for the bike out the door, and the relationship that I had with the dealer. So I took that into consideration, and that's ultimately what I ended up going with. Now, $12,000, 2.25% for just the bike. After it was all said and done, when I signed the paperwork and everything, I ended up coming out $12,500 or something like that. And the reason for that is because I added gap insurance. If you don't know what gap insurance is essentially when you have an accident on a motorcycle and the insurance deems it as total loss, they give you the value of the motorcycle or the vehicle, whatever it is, at that time. Let's say, for instance, it was valued at $8,000. Okay, it's valued at $8,000, but you still owe $10,000 on your loan for that vehicle. So, because of that, you're missing $2,000 that you're gonna have to pay for with the loan. What gap insurance does, they're gonna pay that. So I paid $500 for gap insurance through the finance office at my dealership. So that brought my total to $12,500. Now, had I not negotiated the price, had I just went in and said, okay, give me a quote, and I'm going to pay whatever they're going to throw at me. If I had said, what's the price of this bike out the door, even if I even didn't say out the door, the bike was $13,600. I got the bike itself. Had I not even added gap insurance, I would have gotten it for $12,000 at the lowest interest rate. So when you think about it like that, it was definitely worth negotiating the price. So it's all about who's going to give you the lowest prices. At some point, one is going to break and one is going to win your business. It just depends on which one's willing to break enough to win the sale. So I ultimately went with that. I think I made a good decision, but I just wanted to let you guys know exactly, how much I paid and, how that process went. Now going forward, I do plan on trying to keep as many logs of everything that I spend on this bike, as far as mods, repairs, gas, anything that's related to this bike as far as an expense, including my insurance. I want to keep a log of it to kind of document this entire process. I just want to be kind of transparent and let you guys know how much it is, because you guys know, you guys can go look up that the bike was $11,499, but that's not how much you pay once it's at once you're signing that paperwork. Because had I not just gotten gap insurance and had I not just wanted to get the bike out the door, that price of this bike could have easily gone up, because they were offering maintenance packages, performance parts, all that kind of stuff that you don't really think about possibly when you're going in to buy something, because you're thinking, okay, I just want the bike. So I just wanted to let you guys know how much this bike costs, and for anybody going forward that is planning on buying this bike, just know that it's possible to get this bike for $12,000 out the door at a stupid low interest rate. So if that's the route that you want to go, just know that you can do it. Just make sure that when you do it, you're not going with just the first dealership that throws you an offer, especially if it's not the offer that you want. Go to another dealership and say, hey, I want this bike at this price. They offered it at this price. Can you beat it? Because like I said, it's nothing but supply and demand. They have a supply of bikes. You have a demand for that bike. Somewhere in the middle, you guys are going to meet where you guys are going to agree upon a price. But it's up to you to make sure that you get it for the price that you want. Because at the end of the day, you're the one with the money. They're the people that are trying to make a sale and beat out the competition. So that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and get home. It's getting a little chilly out here. But I think I found a new spot where I want to make videos. This is a pretty chill spot. But until next time, guys, I'm Bicasso, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.